In the new window, you'll see you have all the common ones. You got mobile devices, you got web pages, you got print, you got film and video, and you got art and illustration. These are all tabs up here. The default one is letter right here. And when you're choosing letter, you'll notice it has these numbers here. These numbers are referring to points. And of course, we might not know what points are in our head. We don't know what a point is, but we do know what an inch is. You can change the inches right here. And now you can see 11 by 8.5 or 8.5 by 11. You can see this is portrait and this is landscape. Portrait, landscape. In addition, you can have multiple artboards. If, let's say, you're doing something front and back, you can say 2 right there, and you can have the front, and then you can have the back in the same document. Okay, they introduced that in Illustrator CS4, I believe, is when they came up with multiple artboards. What's that? Yes, you can add artboard at any time, and we'll be doing that. We'll have stuff that has multiple artboards as well. Okay, so just use default and let's hit OK. That's fine. Okay, again, we're just going to practice numbers. If your windows are all messed up, like mine are all over the place, so you can see that. They're all over the place. If you want to reset them back to normal default, Gene probably messed this up. We'll blame it on Gene. So if you want to go back to default, so it's like you just started Illustrator, it's under Window, Workspace, Reset. And by doing under Reset Essentials, if you go under that, it'll reset all the windows back to normal. So again, Window, Workspace, Reset, and boom. It goes back to the default settings, so everything's kind of default. Like you just installed the application for the first time. Okay? That way the windows are there. The tool, again, that we're going to use mostly is going to be the pen tool. It's the third one down. So let's make a number 1 very easily. To make an angle when you're drawing it, you hold the shift key down. So watch, if I click with my left mouse, again, this is the pen tool. I'm not going to worry about color or anything like that right now. I'm going to click with my mouse, let my finger up. If I hold the shift key down, notice it keeps it on a 45-degree angle. 45. That way I can make a perfect 45-degree angle. As well as if I go straight down, I'm still holding the shift key down. It'll make a straight line. Click and let your finger up, and I'm done. Now here's the problem. If I want to go and make a 2, notice how the cursor's still attached. I want to start a new path. I don't want it to be attached here. Okay, to start a new path, you use the Command-Shift-A, and it deselects. Command-Shift-A. I think there's an R key as well, too. I can't remember. There's an R key to stop it as well. But if you hold Command-Shift-A, it'll then stop it. Okay, let's make a 2. Again, this is how we make an anchor point. I'm going to click and let my finger up, stop. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hold my mouse down and I'm going to drag down. Watch this. I'm going to hold my left mouse down and I'm going to drag. This is, again, the arc that it's making. Okay, it's making an arc. Think of the top of a 2 there. And don't drag too far. It gets kind of crazy. Just a little bit. I'm holding my mouse down. I'm going to let my mouse up. And I'm going to come over here and click once with my mouse and then hold the shift key down and click again there. Look at that, perfect 2. It's not quite perfect, but it's close enough for right now. Again, if you hit Command-Shift-A, it'll deselect and I can start again. Okay, remember the 3 is a little bit tricky. How I'm going to do the 3 is by clicking once, let my mouse up. I'm going to click kind of somewhere around here, and I'm going to hold the mouse down and drag left or right. Doesn't matter which way you drag at this point, because you're going to have to turn the curve around anyways. So if I drag this way, and then I'm going to go click down at the bottom down here, that doesn't look like a 3, does it? But what we could do is if I use the white, again, Command-Shift-A, deselects. If I use the white one, this one right here, the direct selection tool, and I click on the path in the middle there, so again, the white one right here, the white one, and click in the middle here, you'll notice these are the directional arms, and you can see them. Okay, and as I drag them up and down, it adjusts the curves. Okay, well, what I want to do is I want to drag one of these to the other side. To do that, if I hold down the Option key on the keyboard and I click on the handle, again, it's called a directional handle here. If I click on this, hold the Option key and click, it'll actually drag it around to the other side like that. And then if you really want, you can click on this corner point. This doesn't have any paths, does it? That doesn't look like a really good 3, does it? So to make it look like a really good 3, I'm going to actually add some curviness to the top and the bottom. Do you remember the day when we were making the flower petal and there was a convert tool? That convert tool will convert an anchor point to a corner point or a corner point to an anchor point. So I want to, well, I guess they're all anchor points. It says anchor point no matter what. So I don't know. They're all anchor points, but whatever. I want a curvy here. So to get a curvy here, I'm going to go underneath the pen tool, the same pen tool. And if you remember when we were making the flower, we used this convert tool, the one that says anchor point tool. This one is kind of a converting tool. And if I use that anchor point tool, I can come over to the top here and I can give this a curvy too. Oh, that looks like a better 3. And I can come down to this one and give this one a, ooh, that looks like a better 3. Oh, look at that. Now we're getting 3 action there. Now we're getting 3 action. And so see if you can do that. Again, the tools I was using is the direct selection tool to select one point. You can do that to select a point. You can do that to move your directional arms, as well as if you hold down the option key, it allows you to adjust the directional arms separate than the other side, as well as I use this tool right here to convert them to give me more curvy points. I'm going to go to the pen tool and I'm going to click, let my mouse up. I'm going to hold the shift key down, make myself a nice angle there. Click and let the mouse up. Click and let the mouse up. I'm going to actually come all the way back up to here. And it should give me a way to line up. It didn't really line that up, did it? Click there and then go across here. Click there. Ooh, that's pretty ugly 4, but I don't know. Think about how 4. Remember Command Shift A will deselect. Okay, let's do 5. That was pretty ugly. Click, let the mouse up. I'm holding the shift key down to make a straight line. Click, click, and then for the curvy part, I'm going to click and hold the mouse down and drag down. See how it starts making that? And if you hold the shift key down, it keeps it in a row there. And then come all the way over here. I'm holding the shift key down still. Look at that line up. Boom. That's not a bad 5. Again, Command Shift A starts a new line. Now a 6. Oh, can you make a 6 with only 2 points? Awful hard. Awful hard to do a 6 with only 2 points. You know, this is like, you know, back in the 70s, I used to watch a TV show, Name That Tune. Anybody heard of Name That Tune? I know. I'm from the 70s. Can you imagine how old that is? Like, oh my God, the 70s. Geez. Okay, there used to be a show called Name That Tune, and what the contestants were doing was they had to name the tune by how many notes that would be playing. People would be like, I can name that tune in 3 notes. You know, and that's what it was a contest. And so our contest is, can I make a number with the least amount of points? Because the least amount of points is very important, especially when we start going to draw. When we go to draw, let's say, next week we're going to do fruit. Next week we're going to do fruit. And so we're going to want to draw an apple, right? And we want to make the apple with the least amount of points, because when we start using something called the gradient mesh, and what the gradient mesh is it makes gradients that are pretty realistic looking. The problem is when you start adding the gradient mesh, it starts making more points. It makes something like this. So then now I have another point, another point, another point, another point, and then I add another gradient mesh, and then boom, it adds another point, another point, another point, and it just starts getting messy, messy, messy. So the least amount of points you have will keep the file size down, as well as when you start adding more stuff to it, it keeps it streamlined, simple maybe, if that's the word. So let's see if we can make a 6 with the least amount of points. I'm going to try and make a 6 with only 2 points. Here we go. I'm going to click here and drag my mouse down to start my curve. And I'm going to come all the way over to here, and I'm going to draw like this. No, that's not going to work. No, I don't think I can make a 6 with only 2 points. That's not going to work. Okay, let me make a 6 with 3 points. How about that? Click and draw down. How about? Nope, I should have drawn up. Let me do it again. How about click and draw up? There we go. Then, oh, there we go. And then, there we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, see if you can make that. Command Shift A. Woo. It's kind of close. It wasn't bad. Remember, you can use the white arrow to move your points around. Use the white arrow. There we go. Move your points around. Move your directional arms around. Ooh, there we go. That's a little bit better. How about that? Whoosh. A 7, I'm sure you can figure that out pretty easily. Where you go, boom. It's like a, what's a 7 look like? It looks like a 1, doesn't it? Is that 7? Oh, I didn't want to, shit, I wanted that, there we go. I don't know how to make a 7. What is a 7? Like this? That's a 7? Oh, there we go. That's a 7. Jeez, I can't even think of what a 7 looks like. I guess it's not. I'm not lucky 7 then. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make it 8. 8 is very hard. I'm going to do an 8 in 4 points. 4 points. Here we go. 8 and 4 points. Very, very easy. How you make it 8 is by click once and drag sideways or horizontal. Click in the middle, drag horizontal. Click in the bottom, drag horizontal. Click in the middle, not on top. It'll think you want to remove that. You got to click kind of next to it, not on top of this one, kind of next to it or above it, and drag. And then go back to the very first point and click and drag. There you go. That's 4 points. And then I'm going to take these 2 points here and put them on top of each other. I'm going to take one and put it on top of the other one. There we go. Look at that. Perfect 8. Whoosh. You want me to try that again? Watch this. We're going to do it again. We'll do it again. Here we go. Here's the pen tool. I'm going to zoom in. Remember, Command plus. Here we go. Nice and big 8 here. I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to click and drag horizontal. Horizontal. Then I'm going to click in the middle, and it doesn't matter if you go left or right or left. I'm going to drag. Drag again. Go all the way down here. Drag again. Then don't go on top because it'll want to remove that. You don't want to remove that. So I'm going to click kind of next to it, and then I'm going to drag again. And then I'm going to go click on the very last one and drag again. There we go. And then I'm going to use the white arrow right here, and I'm going to put these 2 points on top of each other. Look at that. Perfect 8. That's 8 plus right there. See if you can do that one. And okay, so here we go. Let's start. So you need to draw an animal in this class. That's going to be your assignment. It's like 2 weeks. I think you got a week and a half to do it. Okay, so nothing really due this week. I don't know. There might be something else. Oh, you're supposed to do a discussion, right? Wasn't there a discussion? You were supposed to do something like that.
There's a discussion online. Yeah. I get the 2 classes mixed up for which
I know. You've done the discussion already, yeah.
It was the elements of the point line, right?
Oh yeah, point line plane, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys all found abstract stuff? Okay. You should read that book. I know it seems like old school, but it's foundation, right?
The one that
Point line and plane. It's online. Okay. You're supposed to read that and make it and write about it and post something. Still got a couple.
just want to read the intro right now. What was it called? The preface or anything you wanted to read this again?
Yeah, this is the first reference. Okay, so we're going to draw an animal. So I can't think about what an animal looks like out of my head. So I'm going to download an image off the internet, import that image into Illustrator, and then we're going to draw over top of it. Okay, so most of the time I don't draw from right out of my head because I can't think very well. So we start with a reference photo. Okay, so let's draw with, you want to do a lizard? Or you want to do don't do anything fluffy. I see him doing a bunny hair or something. Fluff, hair's hard. Scaly's good. Alligator's great.
What if I had just like a hairbrush?
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to go to the internet. Here we are. We're on the internet. Look at that. We're surfing. We're going to go to Google. Let's go to Google. And in Google, we have what? Images right here, right? Images. And we're going to type in, you want to do alligator? Is there one? No, there's an I, not alligator. Are reptiles. That looks kind of hard. Alligator looks hard. How about we do lizard? Oh, lizards are better for sure. How about this one? That's not very big though. When you roll your mouse over, you can see the quality, right? What is it showing you? It's showing you the pixels, right? When you roll your mouse over, it's showing you pixels, and those pixels then can be used. The more pixels you have, the higher the quality, the more resolution, the more detail you're going to get, right? So let's try. Lizards are good. I like lizards. Ooh, this one looks pretty good. It's pretty high quality too. No, it's a little blurry. Why is that so blurry? Okay, that one's not. You want to drop top down? That's not very high quality either. What about this one? No. That's not high enough quality. I'm looking for something that actually has some.
If you go to the top of the search engine, into settings, you can adjust. Wait.
You got tools, size, and you say large.
That's it.
Boy, this one's kind of cool looking. How about that one? Why is it blurry? Everything I click on is blurry.
If you click visit images, the type on
There we go. So I'm going to put this in Illustrator. Probably the quickest and easiest way to put it in Illustrator is to actually copy it directly from the website. So if I find a photo, I like the look of this lizard. If I hit the right mouse click, I can say copy image. If I right click on an image, copy image, and I go back to Illustrator, I'm going to start with a new file, and I can then say edit, paste, and it'll bring it. If it's bigger than my artboard, if it's bigger than the artboard, you can put your cursor along the edge and shrink it down. Oh, use the black arrow. Put the cursor along the edge and shrink it down. There we go. Okay, I'm going to draw this crazy lizard. Okay, so any kind of animal you want, doesn't matter. The important thing is to think about how you would approach something in Illustrator. And how we approach it is I usually draw from back to front, because when you draw in Illustrator, you're making objects, and those objects are over top of each other. So a lot of times if I'm drawing something like this, I might draw the whole kind of body shape, and then start drawing things like the eye over top of it, and then the mouth over top of the whole body shape, and then the leg is a separate shape here. And so going from back to front, think of, when you were a kid and you were in kindergarten, you were cutting out little construction paper and gluing it down on top of each other. That was this, yes?
Would you recommend using layers? Because personally, sometimes I use the layers.
Yeah, so you can actually, it has layers inside of Illustrator that you can use and name, but for right now, no. It's another complex that they'll have to deal with right now. So let's just draw. So we're going to use two tools to draw. Again, the pen tool. I know you don't like it. Then we use the pencil tool, and you'll like that. Remember when we were drawing a landscape and we used the pencil tool? It's not precise. Nice precision. So in this case, I'm going to use the pen tool to draw my whole body shape. Here we go. Pen tool is this one right here again, and start at a point. It doesn't matter what point you start at. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and draw the whole shape of this creature all the way around. And when you're drawing, I'm going to end up putting a mouth over top of this. So when I'm drawing the whole shape, I'm going to click here, and I'm just going to come down maybe here and keep drawing, okay? And I'm not going to worry about what it looks like here because I'm going to take another shape and put it over top of that. Does it make any sense? Watch what I mean, okay? First thing I'm going to do is turn off the fill and just leave a stroke. So over here, you'll notice you have fill and stroke, right? Fill and stroke. I'm going to turn off the fill so it has a red line, and I'm going to leave the stroke on and give it a color or whatever you want for the stroke. And that reason why is when I'm drawing with the pen, I don't want it filling in with colors until the end, until I'm done drawing. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to click, let my finger up. I'm going to click and draw, let my finger up, click and draw, let my finger up, click and draw, click, click and draw, click and draw, click and draw, click and draw, click and draw. I'm just following the shape here, and don't worry about what it looks like between here and here. It doesn't matter. I'm going to cover that up anyways. I'm going to click and draw, 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 click and draw. Don't worry about what it looks like here. I'm going to go all the way around to the other side. I'm going to put a leg in there anyways. It's going to be over top of it. Click and draw, click and draw, click and draw, click and draw, click and draw. Don't worry about here. It's going to be in there. And then we can make the tail up. Make whatever the tail. What do you think the tail is going to look like? Maybe it's a curvy tail, huh? There we go. It's a curvy tail. Here we go. And go all the way back to the beginning. Boom. All the way back to the beginning. And I got my whole shape. And you say, what does that look like? Well, it's just a shape. That's all it is right now. Okay, I'm going to deselect. Remember that's Command-Shift-A. Deselect. Next, I'm going to draw. Let's say we draw his leg next. You'll see we have a little leg piece here. So I can click and draw, 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 click and draw. Look, I'm just using the pen tool. Give him some feet. There we go. Go all the way back again to the beginning. All the way back to the beginning. And I got a leg shape. Let's say that's kind of hard using this pen tool. It's really, really quite hard. I understand. So you might want to try, instead of using the pen tool, the next one is the pencil tool. That one is located somewhere over here. Well, the pen tool, this one is kind of a pen tool too. This pen tool does the same kind of thing. But instead of clicking and putting points down, this pen tool right here, you can actually go and draw around a shape like this. And, no, I don't even know how to use this tool. Oh, there it is. I don't know how to use this tool. New for me. Where's the pencil at? Where's the pencil? There we go. It's this one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. And it's called pencil tool, this one. And you can use this one. Remember to always go back to the very beginning with the pencil tool. So if I want to draw his eye, I can click and hold the mouse down. And notice the line will follow where my mouse is going. The line will follow. And there we got one eye there. Maybe the inside part of the eye right there. And just like we did with the we can draw his mouth right here. There's his mouth, maybe the little white part on the side here, and then maybe in order to give him some shape, we could give a little shape over here. And then he has this little highlight right here, doesn't he? Look at that little highlight right there. And then he has this crazy shape that goes down for his nose here. Look at that. There's a shape there. And then maybe a shape here to give him a little bit more nose shape here. Look at that. Little nose shape there. And then, oh, he does have another leg over here. Is this a leg on this side over here? Maybe there's a little leg here. We can make it up a little bit there. And his little leg shape there. And then, he has a back leg, and then maybe he has a hump that goes along the back here like this. There's a hump shape there, and then maybe some curvy shapes here to give him some body shapes. Body shape, body shape. I'm just making them up a little bit. Body shape. There we go. And then, maybe a darker area along the bottom down here. You say, wow, that looks horrible. That looks horrible. Well, we haven't added any color. All I did was draw with the stroke. So once you're done drawing with the stroke, you can then go and color it in. The easiest way to color in your objects is to use the selection tool. You can select an object, and then you can use the, hold on, there's a key to hold on down here. Hold on, I gotta find the right key here. Oh, that was what? No, that's not what I wanted. Oops. No, no. There it is. What was that? I? Okay, here's how I'll color this in. So I just drew some generic kind of shapes. They're kind of generic, and I want to add some color to them. So what I want to do though is suck up the color or take the color from the object, the photograph. So I want to take the color from the photograph. So for instance, I have this kind of shape right here, and I want to suck up this blue color there. If I click on it, I can then hold down the I key and suck up the blue right there, and it'll select the blue, and I just made blue there. I can then do it again. I think go back to the, how do we get back to this tool? Shift plus? Shift plus. Shift. No. I'm trying to get back to the, no, this tool right here. What is this? Again, if I click on an object, I can hold down the I and suck up a color. No, that's not working now. There we go. I don't know why it didn't work. Select an object. And just come over here and use the eyedropper. It's right there, and suck up a color. I'm just going to click here, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, click the object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, select an object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, click an object. You might need to zoom in here. Click an object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, click an object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, click the object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Oops. There we go. I like that kind of bluish. Click here, select an object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, use the eyedropper, or click the object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, click the object. Oh, it makes these all one object. Use the eyedropper, suck up a color. It didn't make this one a separate object, did it? Click here, click the eyedropper, suck up a color. Ooh, I didn't like that color. How about that? Click here, select an object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. Click here, click the object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. That's a little dark. Oh, I want it to be dark. There we go. Click here, click an object, use the eyedropper, suck up a color. And when you're all done, you have a quick and dirty animal like that. And you can turn off, here, you can delete your, there we go. Look, we got lizard. He doesn't have any back legs right now, but you see how quick you can do that? It's the start of an animal. It's kind of rough, but again, just using basic shapes. They're over top of each other. And then color them in. The easy way is to use the eyedropper to select the color in the photo. Use the eyedropper. There's an eyedropper in the toolbar. Use an eyedropper in the toolbar. See if you can add texture. Like you see here, you'll see. All she did was the basic shapes, just like I did, right? But then went over top with the paintbrush with the texture. Okay, so if we go to the one I was drawing, if I can find the one I was drawing, this one, I can use the brush right here, and then remember the brush uses the color for the stroke. Remember that? So I can then choose a color for the stroke. And then I can use, instead of using uniform, or nope, instead of using this, I can use this one right here, this one, the kind of texture one. Remember the texture one from last class? And then using that, I can then go and so down here I could add a nice sort of brush here. You can see the little texture starting to show up there. And then maybe in the mouth we have some texture there. You can go there. See that? You can add some texture there, some slight detail there. So again, that texture brush, and then maybe a darker red there. We're going to get a little darker red there. And then we put it in there like that. We maybe give it something like that. Look at that. See that? Okay, so using the texture brush then to give it some detail is a good way to go. Again, we can quickly add some color and texture. There was a little white in the corner there. Something like that. Maybe there's a white that goes along here. See that? Okay, so getting the basic shapes and then adding, and then in this eye had a bunch of texture to it, right? In the eye of this lizard. Again, you can double click, you can change a color there, maybe get a kind of a darker, different color, add some detail kind of color to it, and maybe we get some kind of, we give them some, there we go, how about that kind of eye? And let me get some other texture color there, and give them some more eye color, there we go. And then remember, there was all kinds of different texture brushes that we saw from last class under Windows and under brushes. There was a bunch of different brushes. If you remember, it's under Window Brush Library. And you have the bristle brush, the artistic brush with the charcoal. And you can use these to add texture as well, like that. See how I added a texture? There we go. Give him some texture, give him some texture. There, he's got some texture. Maybe a little bit darker color there. I don't know, I'm just randomly throwing it in there, but as you can see with this example here, you know, she spent some time and effort into thinking about which texture, which color. You know, it takes a lot of time and effort, but what a nice lizard, huh? Yes? Okay. So think of adding texture.